The lesson on the scriptures today. Nehemiah was a layman who put his many talents to the service of God and God's people. His generous dedication to the process of the restoration of the Jewish people and the building of the temple, as well as the ongoing dedication of his time and talents to anything God asked of him, remains an example to this day of the power of lay people. It was Nehemiah that led the teams that rebuilt the walls of Jerusalem and, in conjunction with Ezra, succeeded in instituting necessary administrative reforms, while Ezra brought about religious ones, and the Torah was established as the constitution of the returned, renewed, rebuilt Jewish community. In today's first reading, the greatest joy these people had, these men, these women, and all the children old enough to understand, was that the law of God was being read aloud to them in the common tongue. Ezra, the high priest, wasn't reading it in the ancient languages known only to the priests and the scribes. No. He read each passage and then interpreted it for the people so that they knew what God wanted of them, how God wanted them to live, how he viewed the lives of perfection. Imagine our Christian ancestors who could neither read nor write beyond perhaps their own name, if even that. And even after the creation of the Gutenberg press, developed principally for the printing of Bibles, thus the very great Gutenberg Bible. It was all printed in Latin, for even until the mid-Renaissance era, it was an apostasy, a heresy, for which you could die to have any Bible text written in the common or low tongue, as it was called. It was believed that, quote, the daily language of men is crass and common. It should not dirty the Bible tracts, nor should any common person speak these holy words in other than the language of God. Other words, Latin. The few problems here were that, 1. God spoke in Aramaic to Moses and Jesus. Jesus' name is actually Yeshua in Aramaic. Yeshua spoke Hebrew, Arabic, Aramaic, Greek, and Latin. Because to live in Judah, you had to be minimally trilingual. You had to speak Hebrew to speak to the devout children of Israel. You had to speak Aramaic and Arabic to speak to the shopkeepers and people of the market. Aramaic in the larger cities, Arabic to the travelers and those in the markets. And then if you wished to speak to any of the Romans, the Roman soldiers, and any of the governors, you had to speak a form of Latin, because though they were from Rome, which is of Italy, Italy is a common, recent creation, 20th century. Prior to that, there were city kingdoms and small fiefdoms, dialects altering quickly across 25 miles. Latin was the base of all, and all spoke a variation of it. Now, for our Gospel, it's only in the Lucan Gospel, in Luke, it contains the 2 episodes of Jesus sending out his followers on missions. The first was Luke 9, 1 through 6, where the 12 were named and sent out. In that, each with no money, no spare tunic, no extra shoes, and not even a bag to carry it in, and not even a walking stick. And that final phrase, If a village refused them welcome, shake the dust off from your sandals. That sending off was based on the Markan mission from the Mark Gospel 6b to 13. In that sending, it continues on the theme of Jesus preparing witnesses to himself and his ministry. These witnesses in this current sending off include the 12 plus 72 additional, who may represent the Christian mission in Luke's own day. Now, the reason for some of the instructions that were given: carry no money, greet no one along the way, etc. This is to impress upon the 72 of their need to focus and give up all personal possessions and have no attachment to any material thing. Allow nothing to distract from the single-minded focus on the task, including greeting people along the road. Abiding by all of these would have had candidates who were focused and very intent upon the Lord's holy work. May the peace of the Lord be with each of you always.